Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Tavern. I am your host, the GM over at Tabletop Misfits. Of course, we have my co host, Corey, who is over at Chrysalis Endeavors. But tonight, we have a slew of people that are going to be thrown into a heavy improv simulation, we'll say, or experiment. So we have, I'm going to go real quick, and we're just going to go down the list, starting at the top left at Jared. So tell us who you are, what you play, and what stream you're coming from.
My name is Jared. I am from Brothers in Dungeons, of which I am the co-creator. And I don't know what I'm playing yet.
No. What you're playing on that stream.
On that stream, I play a ranger. You can
All right,
find
cool.
Njorn the Hunter every week.
Awesome. Then to your right, Bree.
Hi, I'm Bree. I play with Chrysalis Endeavors, aka Corey, or the other way around. And gosh, we're kind of in the middle of campaigns
What are
at the
you
moment.
playing? What
Right now.
character are you playing right now in
Well,
his campaign?
We're in the middle of we're not playing a campaign. I guess I could go with Neftalia
Last
in the
character
GUI
you
cube.
played.
Neftalia was a ranger
Okay.
in a carnival. It was a lot of fun.
So Corey also plays in the world of Zyothe, which is the same one we run on our stream. Next, to go down one, we'll go to Danny.
Hi, I'm Danny from Stream Studios. I currently play a Eloquence Bard and Divination Wizard hybrid, so it's fun to see what I get out of that.
All right. And last but not least, if you've hung around the stream long enough, you've already met this man. Eric, introduce you.
Alrighty, I'm Eric. I play in our wonderful campaign on Sunday with James, and I play a very dumb barbarian.
He does. He does a very good job at it. We've only tried to.
Best.
They've only tried to kill about a half a dozen demons. They've succeeded once.
Yep.
So what is roaming in the world is very dangerous at the moment.
All right, so I'm the MC here to kind of run this simulation. So I'm going to keep us going. The first thing we're going to do, and here's how it's going to work: the four players are going to create characters, but before they get to create characters, I'm going to throw James on the spot, and he's going to come up with the idea for the campaign right on the spot before everybody decides what they're going to play. Go, James. What's our campaign?
Oh boy.
All right. So our campaign is going to be very simple. We're going to run something that is easy to take care of, easy to go through without too much of a difficulty. You guys are going to be venturing into an ancient jungle looking for the forbidden sword to open up a dimensional portal to the Feywild.
Forbidden Sword.
Forbidden swords, jungle exploration.
Yep.
All right. So next thing up is who's going to play what? We got, who's going to be a caster or a healer or a tank or who's going to be the intrigue or bard? What are our thoughts here, players?
Well,
Honestly,
if
I
it's
have-
jungle
ahead.
exploration, if it's like a jungle exploration, I mean, we got to have a ranger. I play a ranger weekly. I wouldn't mind creating a new one on the fly.
I'd be a ranger. If you want to be the ranger, you can do it. Either one works.
Four rangers it is. Let's move forward. No, I'm just
all rangers. It's a brand new
Oh, boy.
cereal.
I'm a rogue fan, but I feel like jungle exploration is not really rogue territory unless, we're doing some Temple of
Why
Doom.
not? You've got acrobatics.
Sneak.
You've got...
Well, then shoot. Okay. If no one objects.
So, Jared,
that's
do
the
you want to
story.
go ranger then?
I could certainly do ranger. I do have ideas for everything, so I'm
All right,
know what?
awesome. Morgan, we are going to have some fun with this because
I'll go.
I've come up with a way.
If
I have a
well, everybody,
D4.
I'll go paladin.
I have a
Paladin.
D4.
Okay.
So is the paladin going to be our healer, which means we need
I know.
a caster?
I'm gonna go tank. I'm gonna go tank
Okay.
paladin.
Oh, we're gonna let
So-
the players get it. All right, cool.
All right, Eric, you up for playing some sort of a caster?
Oh, is that what's left? Okay. I
That's
got a little
what's
distracted
left.
with dogs barking in the background.
Great distraction.
I mean, I can
Also
totally
had a-
go.
I was like, I also had a caster like kind of on the back burner. So if you're less comfortable with that,
Oh, I mean, I can
I'm
play.
down.
I can play wizards. They're kind of fun.
okay, great.
All right,
But-
so here we've got Jared with a ranger, Bree with a rogue, Danny is going to be a paladin, and Decimus a wizard. I mean, Eric a wizard. Not Decimus the wizard. That's not a good idea.
That would be dangerous.
I mean,
That's-
maybe.
Oh, I just pictured that.
I need a multi-class next level.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this.
All
to
right.
Do it to him. Do
So
it to him.
so I'm gonna pass it back to James because at this point we would kind of just roll some stats, but we're gonna use standard array to make it quicker. But let's talk a little bit about the different ways that you could roll stats to get us going.
Okay. So we did this, I think, in the first couple episodes of Tavern Talks. There's multiple ways you can create characters, of course, with stats. The best way, of course, is letting players have some fun rolling dice, getting used to those basics. But there is standard array, which is simple, 16, 15, 14, 12, 10, 8. There is point buy, which don't ever help me on the whole calculation for that one because it makes no sense in my brain. That's why I have calculators. And of course, there's multiple ways to roll the dice. The one I've become most fond of over the last probably 6 to 9 months, it comes from a guy known as the Dungeon Coach over on YouTube, where you roll 4d6, you take the top 3, and you roll that 5 times. And then you add those all together, subtract by 72, and then that makes sure everybody is balanced no matter what. But for tonight, we are going straight standard array because it's easy.
So you subtract it from 72 to get your 6th stat. For those who
To get your
you don't
sixth
just
stat.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the crazy thing about that is you don't want to have. It really allows for a balanced party without a balanced group. So you're going to have people that have 3 amazing stats, and then 2, and then 1 that's just completely doing dumb, and vice versa.
I got some of that.
What's up? Streaming. This is what happens when your high schooler walks into the bar. It does smell like beer in here. Oh, now he's going to.
All right, so I'm gonna
This
go.
is 18 older bar. You got to go. You can't be at the bar. You stole my dice. You ass.
So now we're gonna jump in before we get into characters. We're gonna do a little improv here before we start building them out and statting them up with a name and a backstory. So name, class, and backstory.
Yeah.
Any volunteers to start the improv off first?
Oh God, not me.
I'll do it.
All right, Bree.
I got a story.
All right.
So, my character is Alvina Darkwood. And she is a tabaxi cat person, right? A troop, I would say a troop, that's speaking nicely. A group of thieves and the like found me on their travels, thought I was adorable, and stole me from my people.
The whole
And
person.
I didn't know any better for obviously a long time, but I grew up and I used my physical traits to help do little hunting, 5-finger discount type of stuff. And I'm looking for adventure and maybe to find my home again.
So
There you
when
go.
they stole you, did they take you across a long distance in a wagon?
Yes.
Have you ever been on a road trip with a cat?
I have. I have.
That was Bree's character for like the whole time she was being sent.
But actually
guys-
able to reach up front.
Those guys must have
Tied
been
up
regretting their
in a
decision.
box.
A little bit. A little
All right,
bit.
Oh, boy.
So we have A tabaxi rogue named again
Alvina,
Alvina
Alvina Darkwood.
Darkwood.
Alvina Darkwood. All right, who wants to go next?
I think I've got mine. I think I've got it ready.
All right, Jared.
All right.
My character is a grung ranger because I love frogs. His name is, I'm gonna do the voice for it too.
Okay.
My name is Chlorgorgle. Chlorgorgle.
Chlorgorgle?
Chlorgorgle.
Sounds about right.
One word. Chlorgorgle.
Oh, one
Or Gorgle.
Chlorgorgle.
Well, there's this adventure to this jungle and looking for this forbidden sword. I'm thinking a native. He's from here. He's from this jungle. You know, that's wet and rainy. There's got to be grung there. So he's a particularly friendly grung. Sometimes they're, you know, not too savvy to outsiders, but he is a particularly friendly grung with a very curious mind, curious to see parts that are maybe outside of his part of the jungle. And I'm thinking maybe the party found him at maybe he's cornered. He's squirrely, but he's strong. But he's cornered, and the party eventually finds him, and he proves himself to be both worthy and useful to them by his knowledge of the area, the beasts around it, and I believe you said they were trying to open a portal to the Feywild with the sword.
Yep.
Maybe things in the area from the Feywild leak over, so he actually knows how to speak Sylvan. That maybe Fey he could communicate with.
All right. So we have a Tabaxi rogue, a grung ranger. Who wants
I'll
to
go next.
jump in and do the third?
I'll go
All right,
next.
Danny.
I'm going to be playing a paladin, wood elf named Emery. Was taken from the Feywild by slavers. Once he escaped to defend himself and to find his way back home, he plans on developing himself into a paladin who, with the hopes of having the tenets of the ancients and trying to attune himself not only to the woods and the natural plant life of the material plane, but find his way back home and be attuned to the nature of the Feywild itself.
Kind of the Feywild protector. Maybe this
Yeah.
sword is not only a key home, but a connection to your entire being.
Yeah, like it's the key to reuniting with what my past should have been and kind of reconnecting with that lost heritage.
Nice. And finally, our
Oh, man.
wizard.
We're saving our worst for last. Those are some good stories. So, I am going to be playing a real basic human wizard. And my name is Hardin Longbone. And
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what
I
was that
think
again? Say
nothing
it again. Say it again for the crowd.
One more.
Yeah, that's Hardin Longbone. So, growing up,
Hardin Longbone,
yeah,
huh?
growing up in primary school, I was bullied for obvious reasons.
Why?
And so I have always wanted to become powerful and show that smarts is much better than brawn. So I took up learning at a wizard school, and pretty much I got into chemistry, mixing herbs and different types of liquids and things, creating either good stuff or more chaotic things. And I heard that there's some different types of herbs and things in the Feywild, and the best way to get there is this forbidden sword to open a portal.
All right. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to pop your stats into your character, and then we'll quickly go over. You can tell everybody what you chose and why. Meanwhile, James and I are going to talk a little bit about this campaign as you guys do your stats. So, what do you see as some of the first encounters or early, because they're first level? What are we going to do?
Yeah, so the first encounter is definitely going to be the way that they've built their players. This would be a fun one to introduce the players on an encounter. I would not have them doing the trope of meeting at the bar or at the local, uh, marketplace. This would be something where people are getting in trouble. This is not going to be your happy-go-lucky, um, save the world type characters. And I think that's kind of something that's exciting. Hold on, let me pop this man out. I don't know how he got in here.
I
I can't
can't
get him
leave.
out. Yeah, you got to go, bud.
Oh, okay. No, you don't. You
You have
And-
a peace companion?
And we've got a companion. No,
A tabaxi with a pet cat. That's kind of weird.
Right.
That's kind of like
yeah,
slightly
pretty
creepy.
odd.
I feel like it's too meta. It's too
It's when you
meta.
can't clean that spot on the back of your head, and you just kind of
Mhm.
you take care of this.
Oh man.
All right, so introducing in the encounter. So basically, you start with one character and just kind of keep bringing other characters into the
Yeah,
encounter.
so something I've seen really cool to be done, and this is taken, like I said, a lot of the stuff I do, I blend what I've seen on shows and things I've played through. Is you kind of ask them, like, "Hey, what are
We
you
got to
doing?"
pause. We got a question.
Oh, awesome.
Assuming Grung, Wood Elves, Tabaxi, and humans all live in this jungle, how do you think they all feel about each other?
Ooh,
Who wants to take that question?
Boy.
Oh man.
I
is
would
this being
figure
asked?
it's like a lot of like real world applications where natural formations kind of split people. So probably semi-tense friendship. Don't bother us, we won't bother you.
I would definitely go with that. I would also kind of spin it off and say that elves are kind of more of a very close knit community. They probably aren't around very often, and if they are, they hide themselves very well. Just by the backstories alone, it's with elves being connected to the Feywild and running with that scenario, and them bringing through the Feywild as slavers to the material plane. You would want to kind of give off that so you could give an experience for that background of that player. So I would say
Yeah.
wood elves, high elves, they wouldn't be seen as often. It would be very
Yeah, I think
Rare.
sparse.
they're more isolationists in
Hmm.
general. Um, but I think it like my character wise would be like because he was taken by slavers, he understands that like he doesn't have a tribe or a community. So he
Hmm.
looks at everyone and generally like friend or foe, make a quick decision based on their actions. And I think that's kind of like the general survival in the jungle. It's try to identify immediately, is this harmful or is this not? And I think that's kind of how the grungs, the wood, like the elf, like my elf, humans, tabaxi, and any creatures we encounter, how would they perceive? Like it becomes more of that predator, prey, or neutral aspect.
I could definitely see humans and tabaxi living pretty close together, um, especially in a jungle area. Grung might be more considered uh, traveling outsiders at that point because Grung are normally known to be territorial. So you could have a very small community of Grung around a large city, or multiple within an area, giving them that opportunity to. One thing I'd love to do with characters is to bring them back to their hometown and watch their interactions with people that they've put in their backstory on who they know. It gives the feel for the players a little bit more connection to the game, and they allow themselves to dive into the story and into the world a little easier that way.
All right, well, let's
Did
run it.
that answer the question? Let's see here.
let's run it back. Stats. Everybody got their stats? And we're not going to go through all 6. Let's just talk about your highest and your lowest and why you chose to do that. Let's go with Eric first, since you were last time.
Oh shoot. Okay, so let me go back because I was already going to like the backgrounds and things. So I made my strength dump stat for obvious reasons. As a wizard, I'm more studious than I am hitting the gym. I put my 13 in dex because as a skinny dude, you're a little squirmy, you know. You're more agile. I made a 12 constitution. And I mainly did that just because that was the last stat I had, because I threw 10 in my charisma slot, seeing as where I was bullied and just my growing up and whatnot. Then I kind of speak down towards people that aren't as smart as myself. Intelligence, highest for obvious reasons, as a studious person, and then 14 in wisdom.
Awesome. Danny?
So this was my thing always with paladins, is like what you're supposed to put points into, what you're good at, is not generally what you put points into as a tank. So I kind of have a little split, which is a little weird. I made my strength 13, dexterity 12 because I get a +2 as a wood elf. So I'm going a little bit of that. That dexterity is going to bump up my AC. 14 in constitution. Intelligence is what I had to sacrifice. I put a 15 in wisdom because I'm going that nature path, that wisdom path, like knowing how to survive in a jungle forest setting with my +1, so bumps it up to 16 because math is important. And then charisma, which I'm supposed to be good at, but I only have limited options. That's my 10.
There you go. And the even numbers are good. You need those even numbers because that's where you get the pluses.
Exactly.
No,
Math is
100%.
Yeah.
math
Yeah.
works.
Most people are saying like there's a lot of applications out there. Like we're using D&D Beyond right now, which is a website you can go to and you can kind of plug all this information in, and it does a lot of it for you. But knowing where to get the extra points and stuff to get those extra bonuses definitely will help your character in the long run. But yeah, no,
All right.
those are interesting that you put that you're doing the full
The wisdom.
the full wisdom. Yeah,
I'm doing the
and
wisdom dex build with
yeah,
a high constitution, sacrificing the strength because I'm like, I'll
yeah,
take the hits. I'm not expecting to do a lot. I'm expecting to my friends to kill everything for me,
yeah,
but
right.
I'm gonna take the hits.
And I think
There you
it's an interesting thing, and it's something we talked about last week. Is the core and the why of the character. He took some of the stats and based them differently because of what his character's why, his core of his character's personality was. Who's next? Bree?
Jared. Oh, Bree.
Oh, Jared? Bree? Jared?
I was just going backwards from last time, but yeah.
Yeah, that's Bree is next.
Okay, I'll
Right.
go. I put my highest score into dexterity. Need to be able to be sneaky.
Yeah.
I put my lowest into and before I move on, I do have a modifier because I'm a cat person, so I have a +2 on top of that.
He's
So
heavy on some decks.
heavy decks and personal experience having played this type of character, like you can't get too much of that.
Never enough
My
dex.
dumb stat is wisdom. And that was dual for me. One is just a character play. It's not as important for this, but also cats are curious. They're not wise. They get into shit without any previous
thought.
knowledge telling them not to do that. So it's not really a smart thing, it's a learning thing.
Not to mention you being taken by you've been taken by the thieves group.
Right.
Pictured
really
an
get
adult
to
tabaxi
taught
cat knocking
thing.
like an ancient relic off a shelf.
Oh, I could still
Like,
see it.
like, no, don't touch that.
Oh, that's definitely the feeling I was having. So
Yeah. Oh, you like this?
And now you're cursed.
All right, Jared.
I went highest, of course, with dexterity, 17. And for my dump stat, I had to go with intelligence with 8. I did also I took 12 charisma as well, specifically because I wanted him to be somewhat likable. I think that the grung are adorable and I love them, and everybody should love the grung.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I wanted
They
him to
actually have
be a likable character.
I actually had an entire evil party that I'm running through on Tomb of Annihilation, and the only village they have yet to like hate completely is the grung encounter that I gave them of them, and they love like they are now worshipped idols of the grung, and it's hilarious.
How can you
So,
hate
yeah.
the grung? They're so great.
Now, mind you, their entire village was being taken over by undead, but they chose
Well,
which one they wanted to deal with, and they
yeah.
were still young leveled, so they weren't fully developed their evil nature just yet. Now that they're
The
level
narrative would have been of
8
like,
and
let's side
9,
with the
all they do is
undead
kill
and murder
things.
the grung.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some backstories, we have some stats. Let's just go one at a time as we kind of finish out the characters and just talk through as you finish it out what choices you're making, and we'll just go one at a time, quick 5-minute. What choices are you making as you flesh it out and just talk through it? Does that sound reasonable? All right,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
who wants to start?
I want to bring up a really cool thing beforehand, though, and that is how you all work together to come up with that your characters actually work together. A lot of times we've talked about this in other shows where it's so much easier on the game master and it's so much easier on the players as a dynamic to make sure that you are working together as players. Knowing that you guys aren't all picking the same race or the same class, and if you are, you're making sure that they're different in some way, shape, or form. The cool thing I like about the whole thing, though, is it was almost easy enough to figure out a way to get you all together because you all gave enough backstory, even though it's not a lot, to connect all the players, and it made sense. So, props on players.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna, draft a player to start us out. Danny, why don't you start us out
Okay.
and just kind of talk
So-
through your choices real quick.
So Paladin, I get 2 proficiencies. I gave myself athletics and medicine because in a jungle you never know, and it's wisdom based. And athletics, like you gotta dodge stuff. So might be good to have that if I gotta move something heavy, especially if I don't have the best strength.
Gotta climb that vine,
Climb the
or that
vine,
mountain.
be able to like tie the vine securely, pick someone up out of quicksand. For background, I figured what would be someone who was kidnapped and kind of ran away that wasn't like the, oh, I'm haunted, like I have this tragic backstory. So instead I went with like, okay, what would be the most survivalist? So I went with the Outlander background because it would give me proficiencies with survival. The one I can choose, I chose stealth because like I'm trying to avoid being recaptured or get hunted by whatever animals might be living in the jungle. For tool proficiencies and languages, I thought, well, since we're trying to get the sword, and my character wants to get back to the Feywild, I was like, what is the most Fey-esque in tool proficiencies? So I actually went with pan flute just for the flavor of it, not like it's gonna be efficient at getting something accomplished. But like just the idea that like he plays a pan flute to kind of like sell too, since he's been alone for so long, doesn't have a community, so really he has to be able to give himself hope and optimism. And languages, I just put Sylvan because that's what he would want to be familiar with, because that would be one of the primary languages of the Feywild.
All
right,
right, so
we have to interrupt you with a question.
Yeah,
Go
we have a
ahead.
Good.
unique question here. So, in ye old McDonald's, what kind of favorite meal would you be getting, and why?
Poor Gargle's getting that Happy Meal, boy. He getting them nuggies.
There we go.
Gorgle wants nuggies.
Who's next? Otherwise, I'm picking.
Is
Oh,
this
man.
is for everybody, right?
Everybody's got to answer. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the chaos of the tavern.
Oh,
People
this
scream
is
out
definitely like a
questions all
triple.
the time.
This is a triple Big Mac.
Is that yours or your characters?
Oh no, it's my characters. I'm a weenie. I'm a 2 cheeseburger meals with extra ketchup.
Yeah, I think my guy would be like triple quarter pounder, extra large. Like eat as much, like because it's like that
With enough, he's
survival
getting
instinct
another meal.
is you don't know when your next meal is gonna come for. Like part of Outlander is
True.
you know how
True.
to scavenge for food. So when you find food, you eat as much as you can. You go like that bear mentality for the winter. Pack
Right.
on as much as you can, because if you don't have food for 3 days, you gotta have enough calories to burn. So like that triple bacon, quarter pounder with cheese, extra large fries, and substitute like the soda for like a giant shake.
I'm getting that
Because
brain
calcium for
food
strong bones.
and watching that girlish figure. I'm getting that chicken Caesar salad.
The wizard keeping his figure.
All right, Danny. Sorry for the interruption there, but
No, it's all
go ahead
good.
with your choices.
No, it's all good. And then like flavoring, like where it goes into like character details. I guess my character would be like semi-built, like athletic build, typical wood elf of being a little bit more tanned, brown hair, but like cut short because long hair not the best idea, especially in the jungle. Um, we're gonna go with like very plain features, brown to amber eyes. Like not extravagant, because like the wood elves aren't the extravagant of the
Yeah.
elves. They're the elves of the earth.
Right.
Lifestyle, because D&D Beyond asked for that. I do modest. Faith, I would leave that blank because I don't think he has a faith because
It's kind of lost at the moment.
he's lost and his oaths are more to like preserving life and nature and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's not a deity.
Yeah.
Like if you want to pick a deity, you'd pick one that has to do with nature and preservation.
Mhm.
But I don't think he's had that foundational of like a religious establishment to follow. It's more like
Right.
self-taught. So it's like nature itself is the faith.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think
but-
I think you don't need to add that into it. These, of course, are just ideas to help
Yeah.
build out and flesh out a character. Though I will state one thing that I always tell players when they join a game on D&D specifically is realize that though you might not believe in something, you know it exists because this isn't. You've seen these things, like and they're not to the example of like a single miracle here or whatnot. You can see where gods have touched the earth itself, and some people might have actually seen, depending on how much you want to get your deity involved.
yeah,
they
like
could
gods are
potentially have
real
even
in
seen
D&D.
them. Yeah, gods are real in D&D,
Like-
and people
Like
need.
I
to
have my
think about
powers from this god. That's how clerics work.
it. Right.
And then like a lot of it would be like the allies' enemies would just be based off like his survival instincts and who he's identified as friend or foe. And I think like, and my favorite thing is like flaws with my character. And I think the inherent flaw which goes against paladins, because paladins are of like that hope and that righteousness and that justice, is like his flaw is he inherently mistrusts everyone and doesn't believe that the people he meets are necessarily good, because most of his life he's matter of fact is most people he's met are not good people. So his inherent flaw is the opposite of what a paladin should, where it's like that inherent good of people. It's like, no, nature is good, people are not. So it's like that people need to prove themselves to him. And for a paladin, that could be a critical flaw because you're supposed to protect people. It's like, but do I need to protect these people? Like, are they actually good people?
Right.
So I think like that's kind of how I would build this guy and kind of go from there.
No, I really like the thought process that you went into each point and making sure that they made sense to the core of your character, and that's definitely what we're trying to get people to realize is that take that core portion before you start touching the stats, and then use that as your milestone to build your
Yep.
character off.
And he
Absolutely.
really likes to drink. He finds a way to brew alcohol no matter where he is. He uses one water skin for water and one water skin to brew.
Of
To
course,
brew.
he's a craft brewer. Of course.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He just does it though. He hopes for the best.
If I add this berry,
This is
and
actually
this
rancid.
mushroom,
This
and
is
this
not
grain.
fermented.
And luckily, detect poison is on his spell list, so
Yeah.
Yep. Paladins get those beautiful things where like I can ingest poisonous things and it not hurt me. It's like, ooh, that's gone bad. That's not fermented. That's just
Didn't ferment.
expired.
It's moldy.
Let's start over.
Try again.
Let's do these berries, this vine juice. Let's see what happens.
Let
take
it
some
sit in the
growing
gold.
saliva, put it in there.
Can you spit in
boy.
this?
Oh, that snake we just killed. Let's drop him in there too.
No,
you know?
drop the venom.
Chlorgorgle just puts in like little drops of its poison like right in. It just
Shake
helps.
up.
Yeah, it helps get you a little buzz. Not enough to hurt you.
We'll give it a week and we'll see. We'll give it a week, and then I just mark like on the back like wait 1 week, and like 3 days into it start trying. Nope, not ready.
It's just marked poison question mark.
May kill you.
feed to enemy.
Yep.
So they
All
either
right.
get drunk or they get poisoned.
All right, who's
Corey,
up? Who's up
on the-
next?
who's on the draft next?
Let's go with the grung.
All right. Let me switch back to D&D Beyond. I'll run through like my proficiencies and stuff first. As far as tools and languages go, not much by way of tools, but Chlorgorgle does play a horn, and I imagine that a lot of grung play horns because it'd be similar to the sound of croaking.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got this horn and this very particular grung style of playing a horn that maybe many people have never heard, because the way they play it, it's to mimic the croaking of frogs.
Nice.
And an interesting party dynamic, because grung don't speak common unless they learn it, and I
Right.
opted to not learn common.
Oh boy.
But he
Oh,
does
great.
speak Sylvan and Elvish. So unless the other two can speak those, the only person I can communicate with is the
Is the elf.
paladin.
And I generically mistrust everyone. So I'd be
Exactly.
like, why did he not learn? But I can also find it as an endearing trait. Like, you chose that
True.
the only 2 languages you speak are the 2 that I speak. So
Yeah.
you're never going to have a
Yeah.
conversation with someone and I not know what you're saying. I will always know.
Unless
Always.
he's lying about not learning common.
And that's why I don't trust people.
Exactly. Been a ruse the whole time. For skills, I have proficiency in acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, nature perception, and survival. Acrobatics, athletics, and survival, I think, all go hand in hand. Survival is knowing how to survive, but I think it's also a physical skill, because surviving is doing a set of tasks. So those things, just, you're a ranger who lives in the jungle and you're like a 3-foot tall frog. You have to have those things. Even though he's not particularly strong, that's my second lowest stat. Just having a little boost with athletics is always good. Acrobatics, this guy's going to be jumping all over the place. You know when Yoda's fighting Count Dooku? It's going to be like that. This frog is just hopping.
It's flipping
Frog
and
is-
hopping.
That's the T-shirt. That's a
Flipping
T-shirt for
and
grung. This frog is just hopping.
This frog is just hopping. I love it. I want to make that right now.
Wait, do it.
Animal
I created a
handling.
party without trying. This is not good for my
Right?
my mental stability.
Animal handling just comes with living in this area and knowing the beasts that roam here. Nature, the same thing. I believe for like my features and traits, um, my natural explorer ability as a ranger is a forest, of course. So nature kind of blends into that. And perception, I imagine he's great at perception because he's a 3 foot tall frog and everything wants to eat him. He has to be able to
He's got
use
big
his
eyes.
Oh
big
yeah.
eyes on the sides of his head to see everywhere, or one fell swoop, I don't know, a jaguar or a displacer beast, I don't know, something could pounce him and that's it, he's
I
done.
wonder what I eat. What does the tabaxi eat? I bet you look very tasty.
You know what, it could be an
That may
interesting
be how
thing.
you met. You tried to eat him.
Yeah.
No, please, no. He sits there and it's like the puppy eyes, but it's big frog eyes, and he's just too lovable.
You're lucky I like
The claws come out, and you see
Lizard.
the big eyes. You're just like,
amphibians.
And as the big
Instead
claws
you
with the
just
puppy
bat
eyes,
'em.
a bow and arrow.
Instead, you just bat them.
Right.
You just bat the eyes, and they just kind of click together like the snail off of SpongeBob.
That she realizes she gets poisoned when she touches me. The old grung skin. I think that's. Am I missing anything? Is that it?
No, like I said,
That's it.
I love pointing out these little nuances that each of you are picking in your characters, though, that really connect to that core portion of what we went through at the beginning. If anybody can take anything from this, is make sure that the players know what their core is before they even touch their stats, because it makes them be in the mindset that you really need to be in order to build a fleshed out, fun character, which you all have built. I mean, I've got multiple people in stream that are being like, "Let's run this stream."
Yeah.
So
If I get I will admit, if I get enough donations that I can stop running one of my professional played campaigns, I will run this weekly on stream. But that's going to be a little bit of money, so it's all you guys.
so Harden Longbone.
Oh, I'm
Pardon
next.
long.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we got a suggestion that you should have the durable feet. So
Because of his backstory.
That might be a
Huge
level 4 choice.
backstory.
Huge backstory.
Earthy facts. I'm so sorry.
Everybody wonders why the wand sits weird in his cloak.
Oh boy.
Everyone says,
Just
"Is
got
that a wand
big
in your
dildo
pocket?"
staff.
You're just happy to see me.
why are you guys talking wands? Longbone has a staff. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Full-blown
So that's
quarterstaff.
not a wand in his pocket? Oh, bye.
Oh boy. So for my proficiencies, I took Arcana and History. Arcana is pretty obvious. I deal with magics. And History, I'm a very studious person, so I read a lot of books. And I love history and learning all sorts of new things.
I have a question. As far as history goes, are it just general history? Is it's a specific?
Mm,
Sorry if I threw.
Yeah, no. I would say mainly just like history on potions and herbs, other chemical things, just because that's what I've got an interest in. But definitely history of like the different types of planes and what lives there, because all that stuff, the whole curiosity thing really gets this guy. And
So if you took history, did you also take Arcana?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you
Yeah, of
took
course.
history and you do stuff with like alchemical stuff, it makes sense for
Yeah.
you to read up on the different like plants and animals
Yeah,
Yeah,
of the
so you wanna
jungle,
take
because
nature
those are
too.
components.
exactly.
Yeah.
As far as spells, then for my cantrips, I had taken things like Create Bonfire because of a little bit of chaotic energy, having grown up being picked on.
You got to make those alchemical components too. I mean, you got to add heat.
Yep.
It's the Bunsen burner.
Yeah. Ray of Frost, I took that just because the balance of the
Hot and
chaotic
cold.
side. You got to be able to cool yourself down a little bit. And then I would have taken other spells. Like for my first level spells, I would have taken like Expeditious Retreat just because I have that history of I can get beat
I
up
don't
pretty
know
easy.
another
I got to get
spell.
out of here.
Get me out of here.
Identify
Let me
because I want to
out.
know what things do. All that kind of stuff. As far
The
as
question, I'm
Sure.
going to interrupt you for a second. The question, and it all has to do with your name. So you were bullied as a young child, and you have the name Hardin Longbone.
Yeah.
I mean, what was this more of like a bullying thing because you were pulling the women? Like, what kind of bullying are we talking about here? 'Cause
Oh
there's
no, we're
multiple ways this
talking
can go.
like because my name sounds like hard on, and you know how kids are.
Yeah.
I mean, if it fits the pick, if it fits the
Hard on is just the name. Doesn't happen anywhere else.
You don't
I'm
know
guessing it's like that.
You don't know that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Kids just picking on people for the stupidest things. But for my background, I took Sage, spending long years reading books, learning history, um, researching chemistry, and practicing. So I took investigation, so I can find the components that I need to find to make any sort of concoctions I'm working on. I took medicine because even medicinal stuff, little smoky smoke, anything. It's all part of the it's all part of the same topic.
all part of the plan, buddy. It's all part of the
Exactly.
plan.
Just because of dealing with Arcana and stuff like that, I took Elvish.
I will
We work
explain,
hand in
it's
hand
a
with
reason.
elves.
What background did you pick?
Sage.
Sage.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And then for my last
Studio.
language, just because of curiosity and just being wowed by the different kinds of things on different planes, I took Celestial for my last language.
Cool.
That'd be the only one I would question, is the language. Can you give me a Y on that one?
A Y?
Yeah. So you're an alchemist. You love nature.
I wouldn't
Let's pick
say
the wing.
nature. I wouldn't say that I love nature. It's more
Okay.
so I just know components for alchemical reasons.
Right.
But yeah, no, just celestial beings are very different from
Okay.
what I normally see and deal with, They're just very fascinating. And, curiosity and fascination is a huge thing for people that like to read and study.
And maybe that's the book he found,
Yeah.
Dummy's Guide to Celestial, which is
Right.
better than.
Well, I'm thinking
So-
more of the name and the perfect being. It's kind of this trying to find his way to being a perfection of himself. Maybe he trying
Yeah.
to live up to the name. I don't.
All right, Danny. All right. What's the hat?
Yeah, we gotta know.
Okay, so are we gonna cover the? Wait, no, because Brie has to go. We're gonna
Yeah,
I
don't
do
bring
have
that
to
to
go.
go, and then we'll go back to the hat.
Right, we'll come back
This will
to
be.
that.
This is when we get to equipment.
Okay, all right, all
Oh,
right.
boy.
Well, okay, we'll come back to that. Okay.
Equipment's where you
So-
can have fun.
I would say as a rogue, we have less like given tracks or back history. But what I do have, I chose for my proficiencies athletics, intimidation, investigation, and persuasion. I did not go with any sleight of hand or thievery type of things because the people who took me was a majority halfling, small hands. As a baby cat, I had small hands, but as I got bigger, we're relatively large. I mean, we're still medium sized, but tall.
They're like 6.5 feet tall. They're
Yeah.
massive.
Tall,
Exactly.
long extremities.
Not really the type of person you want trying to dip in and sneak into things. So I left
I mean, unless
that.
you want like a claw. You know?
Yeah, I left that proficiency away, but I stayed with the athletic, climbing, persuading, purring, looking around type
Feline
of
seduction.
feline. Exactly.
Feline seduction.
Gotcha.
Um,
Everyone wonders
shove
what
my
it's like,
butt-
what it's
shove my
like
butt
to
in
be
your
with
face as I walk
Fitzpaxi,
by.
right?
Yes. And my expertise being in athletics, being born in, and then also perception, just knowing
The area.
all of the things around me,
Yeah.
being aware. And of course, we have the
It's like the catnip when it kicks in.
So I got one question. How many times can somebody pet you before you bite the crap out of them? Because that's like, it's almost like the Tootsie Roll Pop. You're like petting a cat 1, 2,
Well-
and then get the shit bit out of
Depends on
you.
how many drinks you've had first.
Well, okay, yes, drinks matter. And two, where are you petting me? Are you petting me on my shoulders, back? Great. You try to
You
touch
gotta-
this a little lower while I like it from somebody that I like. If I don't know you, I will bite you.
You gotta pet her in all the right spots. If you don't pet her in the right
Absolutely
spots,
no tummy rubs.
Oh,
Tummy rubs.
boy.
No, that's reserved for romantic partners.
I thought you were gonna say that was the kill button.
that was the. It went from
Some
instant.
cats, the second you try to like scritch their little tummy, like they just
Yep.
it's one or the
Oh.
other.
That's the other way around. Like you walk outside and the cat just goes. Like, you just like scratch me.
But only for
No.
3.8 seconds.
Yeah.
No more than that.
Right,
No
yeah.
more than-
Yeah, exactly. No, that's
Yeah,
true.
if you
too,
miss the
'cause
window,
like,
you're
scratch,
screwed.
scratch, and then all of a sudden it's like, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, you're done, got it.
You have chosen.
What
death.
if though? The reason they do that is because they don't want you to stop, and they're like, never leave this zone. Like, what if they're
Yeah.
trying to grapple you to hold you there to keep doing it?
Love it so much. Please don't stop.
Bastard,
Never
until,
stop.
your arm starts,
Never
until your
stop.
arm starts bleeding, and you're like,
They're like, you,
Oh,
you,
boy.
we're committing to this.
you can't
You're
leave.
bleeding. I'm enjoying it. It's happening. We're staying like this.
Just keep going.
Right.
Yeah. So, and of course, I got that sneak attack, so I can catch people unawares and step. So, that's my background.
Nice.
All right. All right. So
Well,
I
we're
guess
in
we'll
that
talk a little bit
jungle.
about equipment now.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
that was
think
on the
Danny's
road,
ready.
but we're talking about it now. My God.
We're gonna
So,
start wrapping up, and Danny's like, "No, we're gonna show some stuff off here."
well, no, because like I think one of the fun things is because some backgrounds give you ways of getting access to certain things. So like an Outlander background gives me under personal possessions a trophy from an animal I've killed.
Oh,
True.
nice.
So like if like someone is new to character creation and new to like RPing and not used to
Yeah.
it, something stupid and simple as like, okay, well I'm an Outlander, I've killed animal. This is like the fur of like the first wolf I ever like successfully defeated who tried to like hurt me.
Yeah.
And that's like my prized possession of like, okay, I can overcome nature.
Did you
and,
kill
like-
anyone?
It's like just yeah. And it's like your weapons can also go because like javelins don't make sense in a jungle, but a scimitar and a hand axe do.
Right.
So it's kind of like you can also use your equipment to add to that character creation role. So that's why I busted out with my first successful hunt as a level 1 paladin that I survived.
What's
As
an
like an
Ewok?
idea for part of the
It's an
character and
Ewok.
story.
I just have
That
a
came from Lords.
horrifying image of someone skinning an Ewoks.
But did the Ewok deserve it?
Yeah,
They
they're
might have.
savages, man. They're savages.
This
Yeah, they.
depends on what side you're on. Are you on the Republic or the Empire here at this point?
So if that was their first trophy and they have the Outlander background, yep, that's what they got. An Ewok pelt.
Ewok. But I do like that, and it definitely brings in, because I know personally for my games, and I know a lot of other players play it this way, that role play has become a big thing in expressing yourself and really getting that feel that you're that person rather than just rolling dice all the time and stats and combat and blah 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 blah. No, there's more to it, and you're seeing in this kind of a scenario where we're grabbing random people who have played a decent amount each and finding out that you can build characters that are fun, playful, enjoyable, but yet in combat are still going to be a lot of fun with their stats. So, open question. Oh,
So while
so-
we see if the
on
chat
that one
has.
is CC Endeavors is Corey, so that does kind of connect that one.
Yep.
Yeah, so while we wait to see if the chat has any questions about characters and maybe scenarios and how they might deal with those scenarios, we'll tag on to what Danny was talking about. What is everybody else's prized possession?
Yeah. Or what is the thing you got from your background that would connect you to this world, or to your background, stuff like that, or your
Have
your
something,
character.
and I already have it in D&D Beyond.
Okay, well then shoot, because we're not all looking at your character right now, and
I
Twitch
haven't even
doesn't
finished mine.
know.
It's a mouse toy from when I was a little baby, because I was stolen when I was a baby, right?
That's true,
They just
yeah.
wrapped me up in the blanket I was in and took me, and I had my little ratty mouse toy, and I have kept it, and it now resides on a chain on my neck, which is tucked into my doublet.
Oh,
I would want
All right.
your character to be allowed to go into a rage if they ever rip it off. Like you get free rage if it's ever ripped off.
You randomly gain rage if there's ever
Randomly non-barbarian.
Non-barbarian.
I just randomly
This
gain
is
rage.
stolen mouse rage.
and non-barbarian rage and 4 attacks, because all 4 claws are going. Like,
It's like advantage on
And
all
it's
attack
either
rolls,
all-
only against who stole the mouse.
Yep.
all right, so we've got our grung background and our wizard background. So who wants to go next? 'Cause these two have already got theirs.
I
So
can
what is the
go.
prized possession that you got from your background, and how did you connect that to your character?
Well, Chlorgorgel is also an Outlander,
Okay.
and I imagine that maybe the Grung, when they're slightly bigger than tadpoles, like 2 feet tall frogs, maybe you have to go out and hunt something alone, and that's kind of a rite of passage. It's becoming a man or a woman. It's becoming an adult for Grung.
Mhm.
So Chlorgorgel is very simple, and it was very small, but he took down a rabbit with a throwing knife and keeps a rabbit's foot, which he does indeed superstitiously believe is lucky. So he keeps it around his neck on, oops, bumped my mic, keeps it on his neck on a thin leather strap at all times, and if things go well for him, he will obsessively take it out and pet the foot.
There we go. And then finally, Mr.
Oh boy. Well, having gone through my equipment and everything, I have a piece of parchment with a question from a colleague of mine who set out on an adventure trying to find the answer to this question and died trying. And the question is, what is the meaning of life?
42.
And
42. It's always 42.
11.
And so this is why I am starting to adventure out and just try and explore each plane of existence to try and find this meaning.
Okay. So you're more trying to shift between the planes to see if there's other meaning to the world other than what you see.
Yep.
So your eyes have been opened. The veil has
Reading
been pulled
books,
back.
I read about things, but you got to experience it. You're not gonna find the meaning of life if you don't get experience.
And how are you not going to find the meaning of life if you don't connect to a tabaxi, a grung, and an elf? That's
Exactly.
like a range of motion, right?
It's simple math.
Exactly.
It just works.
You go from simple to just exotic in all directions. Cat, frog, strange fey creature who looks kind of like you, kind of intriguing. All right.
We got asked what characters. Can we get the characters in the chat?
I'm doing that now.
Gorgle. Let me type it.
So, it's currently not up yet. Just a heads up. Our Patreon every month will have PDFs placed for everything that happens within Tavern Talks in a one-page paper. However, for this one specifically, we'll probably just grab the character sheets off of D&D Beyond and pop those up there. So,
Corey, how are we not friends on Twitch? That's a travesty.
that is a travesty.
I love how two people have last names and two people don't.
Well, I mean, humans have last names.
Always have last names.
Yeah.
Elves, depending on their heritage and their
Yeah.
culture,
I don't have a family, so I have no family name.
yeah. And Chlorgorgel technically could be a first and last name.
It could be,
Yeah.
but the
He
only
could be from
person who
Chlorgorgel.
can possibly know is the paladin.
It's not. It's one name.
Oh,
This is the
man.
first.
It's one name, one word.
To be fair, the only reason I have the last name I have is because they found me in a dark wood.
All right. This question is for Alvina and Chlorgorgel. You encounter a taxidermist. She seems very interested in you. Maybe too interested. What do you do?
No. Stay away from Chlorgorgel's skin.
I would ask what her timetable is. Like, how long are we talking? Like, if I die within the next few years, can you guarantee money to my tribe? My body's yours.
I will give you one tabaxi on Tuesday for a cheeseburger today.
Chlorgorgel will never give up his
I mean, I
skin.
would make it very clear that if she attempted to cross me in any manner, I would gut her sternum down. But, like, you know, if you wanted to wait, it's entirely a possibility. My line of work doesn't lend to the old of age.
That is
Selling your
true.
body to science.
Yeah.
Quite
Or art.
frankly, Grung just
Or
don't
art.
live very long. They just don't have long lifespans.
So I think
the random store you guys walk into has just multiple different types of taxidermist displays up, from human, elf, tabaxi, grung. Somehow these are the only ones you see, and you're like,
Y'all want to make jokes, but have you ever been to
Beholder.
the bodies
Whoa.
exhibit? That's human
Yeah.
taxidermy.
no. What
That
you
is-
don't know is it is a succubus that runs it, and they actually pull your soul and put it into
Oh boy.
That's
the.
not terrifying at all.
That's a whole different situation.
This is why
Because at this
people
point the
don't
paladin
understand
cast
sometimes
divine
why people
sense
let me play
and burn the
game
building
master.
to the ground.
So I think Lord Stanton was trying to get us into a combat encounter, saying that we're all in the bar and a group of gnolls walk in. But I part of me thinks that's kind of racist that the gnolls would just naturally want to start a fight. But
They're just hyenas. They laugh more than they do anything else.
now they might be chasing the cat around. I don't know. But and I guess we'll put it that way, right? So okay.
Or pouncing on the frog.
Okay,
You know,
Okay, Alvina, a group of gnolls walk into your bar. What do you do?
Your bar. It's now yours. You've owned it the entire time. You just didn't know it.
How large of a group of gnolls?
We'll say a pack of gnolls, like 10.
Okay. Pack of gnolls walk in. I'm sitting enjoying a pint. How interested in me are they?
Well, once they finish sniffing each other's butts and peeing on stuff, they come over and like start sniffing at you.
All right. So my main goal would be
Their nose touches your butt. That's what happens.
Spray
would
'em.
be full on performance, like rolling around, being like, "Do you want to fuck with me?" Stabby, 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 run away. That would be my.
Yeah. She's gonna throw the temptress and then stab.
And also run away because they're not all gonna die. But I would
Yeah.
100%.
Just like
Be out.
the first guy, just shiv him real good and then out.
Yep.
Be chaos. It'd be fucking chaos. And
That's
whoever
great.
was with me, good fucking luck.
My character would be like, I'd just point the way she ran and be like, survival of the fittest. She should know that. And I just point, she went that way, and I'm gonna finish my
Shit, I
beer.
don't know.
Because
The
James,
one-
no, I believe that actions have consequences.
Yeah, actions do have
I don't
consequences.
even
would
know
say,
that
like,
cat.
imagine the paladin, like at the last one as it gets ready to run out, you just stick your weapon out and just trip it. Just the last one. All the other ones
It's
are
like-
running after.
It's
the
like,
final one.
sorry, it's the scimitar.
I've definitely
I was
gotten
sitting at an
myself into a
angle.
few situations already. In both characters.
All right, James. How do we want to wrap this up?
Oh goodness, I don't know. This was so fun. I
or-
enjoyed building random characters, and
Yeah. It's a good time.
I don't know if we want to do a bit of like a small collaborative story with these guys or not. Would you think, and this is mostly me and you, Corey, talking here, is do you want to introduce the stream using these 4 characters now that we have created to the 3 different types of or the 3 different pillars of D&D, kind of going through 1 week going through the social aspect and how players can get better at that, 1 week where people can do the explorative aspect, and then of course 1 week where we just have a nice little brawl. And it doesn't have to be very difficult. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's more so just to show people how to make those different types of pillars in D&D a lot more interactive.
If everybody's willing to come back for a couple more sessions and do kind of a 3-pillar approach, yeah, I'll run one. You could run one, and then we could both run a combat, a fun short combat. Oh, we got another question here. A MacGuffin quest leads you to the mansion of a powerful noble. You recognize one of the servants from the group of slaves you were captured with. Emery.
Oh, so one of the servants was one of the slaves?
Yep.
That's what it looks like.
One of the servants from the group of slaves you were, yes.
So I'd make a mental note. I'm assuming I'm in the party setting for this part.
Yeah, so you guys have already met, you've already taken care of the gnolls, or ran away from them, and
so
day.
like I would give a very strong inclination to the noble, that I know he's not a servant and that I know he was a slave. So I would recommend that he offer him some severance pay and allow him to leave the employance if he wants. Because I don't think a noble would want his reputation tarnished by a paladin who is known to to not deceive. Where like if like my character doesn't lie, he doesn't rely on deception. It's very much matter of fact. This is what it is. Like he has no shame in admitting that he was once captured by slavers and he escaped.
Mm-hmm.
Like making it known like your servant was one of the people I was captured with. I don't think you'd want the rest of the court to believe you bought a slave. You may want to just offer him a hefty sum and ensure, like, I would talk to the guy and make sure, like, hey, you're not a slave, right? You like you escaped and like you're doing this of your own free will. But if it turns out that he's actually a slave,
He was purchased and he's now a slave.
I'm gonna
to
let
this
the guy know, like, you got two options. I let everyone know you're buying slaves, or you release him and give him a nice little severance pay.
Okay,
Otherwise-
counterpoint.
Kill him.
Well, I was gonna say
That's always the
counterpoint.
counterpoint.
He
Fair.
absolutely knows that they're slaves, and he is prepared to do complete battle with non-slaves. And we just showed
And he
our
calls
hand.
and he calls the house guard.
And we just
calls
showed our
out
hand.
the-
Hey, and then I just tell the slave and I go, yo, fight with us and we'll get you all out of here. And you know what? Whatever's in this house, if they're all dead, belongs to all of you as reparations.
In it.
Isn't it?
And I'm like,
yes,
he bought all of you, so you know what? He's dead. You get all his stuff. You're the closest thing to heirs.
There you go. Look
Okay.
at that.
Turn the slaves
Solid.
against the slave owner.
I would
I'm
have gone
not gonna
sneakier
say that
than
I would
that,
not
but-
have a blast with this party. Like I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be a little more chaotic than it was. You guys put your characters together so well. It would make sense to play this party. I would run this on a weekly game.
Yeah, but
I
wait
would
till, like,
absolutely
can't.
do a one shot of this.
Oh,
I would do a
absolutely.
one shot of this.
I would say let us do a one shot like level 3. Because like none of us can cure anyone except for my 5 points on lay on hands. So like
True.
I would have to also be the healer kinda. So like I just
Oh,
need
yeah,
a couple
100%.
levels so
You're
I have
definitely
a
healing at the
spell
moment.
slot because I have 0 at level 1.
I mean, I could
Yeah.
have taken a healer if we needed it.
You
We're
chose
just getting-
otherwise.
I would gladly
I
play-
mentioned a one shot. That's why. No, I like the wizard thing.
I'd gladly
If we're gonna
play
run,
a druid.
if we're gonna run a
Circle of
one
the
shot,
Shepherd.
then I can come in with a mystery healer of some sort.
Yeah.
I'll
So we can
show
either
up.
do a mystery healer, or you can always have, since you are a alchemist, you've brewed 5 healing potions over the last,
Yeah.
6 months.
Plus, at third level, I can speak with animals, and like the chaos I can do with squirrels. People don't understand what small woodland creatures can do when you talk to them and have good persuasion. When you're
Appreciate
charisma and you can talk to small animals, they can get places, they can get you things. No one looks at them. They don't think it's weird.
It's very true.
We have 14 viewers in here right now. If I can get, and I know this is kind of pushing something, and it's more for, to help boost our stream a little bit more. If I can get 5 subscribers tonight, we will run a one shot. Guaranteed.
Ooh.
Corey and I
Do
will
it.
set it up. I will build the custom maps for it and everything. We'll run straight up one shot through Foundry.
If people asking, you gotta put your money where your mouth is. It's not even that much.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's not.
It's not.
It's only 1 month, but it would help our stream tremendously. And all of the money that we get from our stream, just a heads up for anybody that cares, goes back to getting the stream up to date. It's mostly to provide people with better microphones, better webcams. We currently are working on introduction videos, things that are costing us out of pocket money, that this would just help us kind of flip that cost. And it'd be fun. So if you guys are willing to help us, I will definitely find a way to put this on.
Watching?
Do it.
You're watching?
Do it.
One.
We had 1 subscriber. I thought there was somebody else, but maybe that was a follower.
There's a follower.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we've gotten a few followers tonight.
very talented. $1.
And I watched for like
just one
10
rib. How much? How about you get the rib, eat it, I lick your fingers for 50 cents.
3.
No, when I came into this, first off, I was like, oh, it would be super awkward. This is gonna be weird. But it hasn't been. It's been a lot of fun.
That's what's good about like some and like James and Corey know I'm a very simple to the point. I'll say what's on my mind. It may not be the most nice. like some groups you watch them and like you're like, this is awkward.
Yeah.
And like they're like season 4. And it's like, how did you get this far?
Right.
But
like,
it's true.
But like this group, like it kind of flowed really well, and like everyone's personalities, like
Well, the trailer got leaked.
I don't know, it felt like the party naturally came together with what people
It
wanted
was really
to do.
it was really cool, and not only that, but you're also, like I said, we're connecting 4 different streams in one, which is a really cool and kind of part of the idea we're doing with the community itself. So, yeah, so we're gonna. We've got 2 so far. We need 3 more. At that point, like I said, Corey and I'll sit down. We'll build the entire of the first one shot. It'll be about 3 hours, and we'll plan it for one Wednesday, and we'll just go for it. And Corey and I will co DM it. So mostly that'll be one of us running an NPC and the other one telling the story. But or running NPCs and the other one telling the stories.
Oh yeah, I'll do either.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I only do this 3 days a week, so
So James, you run you run campaigns 3 days a week.
Yes.
Yep.
Separate campaigns.
Correct.
So crazy enough, it is a real thing. I am a professional game master.
I
run
know. I know that.
I run 3 campaigns. I run our stream on Sundays. I run an evil campaign on Tuesdays, and I run a Horde of the Dragon Queen on Thursday.
Okay, I have a question for kind of mostly Corey, but also James at the same time. While I wasn't involved in the completely messed up campaign that ended up being the thing with Corey and Andy, or not Corey, sorry, B and Andy and
Forever Hype Train,
the whole awfulness. He says,
Oh, no.
James says his campaign's evil. Is it that evil?
Yeah, I think it's more evil than the campaign.
Really?
Because the characters started out as good, and only 1 or 2 characters kind of turned evil. Every character is evil.
Yeah. So the core of the campaign when they came to me. So just a heads up on this. So I do still run games professionally for other people. So if you are interested, message me. I only take groups though, and the reason is I'm not building your player dynamic. I will build your character dynamic, but I will not build your player dynamic.
Yeah.
We just got lucky with you 4. Truthfully, this is amazing and I love it. But
Fair fingers.
yeah. So if we can talk price and all that stuff, and we can do one shots, and I can do full campaigns. Right now, I'm only up for one shots right now, and my one shot price is a little high, but I can do anywhere between 4 and 6 players. And they came to me and they said, "Hey, our only caveat: we don't care what we play. We want to play evil characters." And I said, "Okay."
So they came to you and they were like, "We want to
They came
do."
to me and I want to play an evil campaign. I was like, "Okay, let's get your backstories. Let's see what you guys have come up with, what your ideas are, and we'll go for it." And we had 1 player leave, so I had to go do a bit of a board out on Facebook groups and stuff like that, and through some of the communities I'm connected with to find a 4th player. But the 4th player has been there now for almost 9 months, so this campaign's been going on for over a year now. So, yeah.
Impressive. That's impressive.
My question for the evil campaign is: are they dislikable evil, or likable evil where it's like the anti-hero? Because I think there's a fine line where people are like, I want to be like Harley Quinn is an anti-hero, like she's evil, like Suicide Squad.
We have one character who's legitimately might as well be the Joker.
But it's like no, like I want to go on a
like
mass
the Killing
murdering
Joker or
like 1990s animated
literally
series Joker, where you still liked him.
Yeah, so here's the concepts, right? Not only are they evil, they all have their own personal goals that they can speak to a higher being that is currently helping them make their personal goals. So I have one player who is
or lower being.
Well, they're all higher beings in their opinion. I have one person who found the book of Acererak, so he is currently talking with Acererak himself. And his main goal is to take over the world and create everything into zombies. And he's a necromancer wizard. Great character. Runs around with 17 skeletons, which is the most hard thing I've ever had to figure out how to run with in an encounter, because I allow him to have his full skeletal army at all encounters. They took out 6 giants last night at level 8. It was stupid crazy. They had a blast. But yeah, they took out 6 giants last. Our second player is a Druid of the Stars. He is, in his backstory gave me, is he had a tree that he grew up around. It over time started whispering to him. It wanted it to feed itself, so it broke off so every once in a while he would take a small animal or whatnot and take it back and kill it in front of the tree, and the blood would fall into the tree. The ending of before he went to adventure to find out how to make it stronger, he had to kill his best friend underneath the tree, and then the tree gave him a splinter from the tree, which he every once in a while in the campaign will have to stab something to soak blood into it, or he goes into a massive rage and attacks the first thing he sees, which has been a party member before, which was great. It was a good time. Our third player is an assassin rogue, who currently now is finally diving heavily into his backstory. And he has become a champion of Imix, which is the fire elemental prince, where he just thinks that everything needs to burn and cleanse itself and become new again. And then our fourth character is a paladin of vengeance who is currently spoken to by the Bloody End, which is a magical weapon designed out of the Exandria book, where it is talking to a fiend that is a direct lieutenant of Bane. So those are the 4 players.
Bane.
And they are brutal characters.
Okay.
And I warned them when we first started the campaign, I said, I want you to play, I'm going to stop you if you start playing evil stupid. They shocked me the first time they actually became evil. And I was like, oh, this is when you want to do that. Okay, cool. Now I know where this sits. And they're a fantastic group. They're 4 players, and they've been the entire.
So I have a question, because I feel like evil players are hard to get to work together. Mm-hmm. The organization part.
So I'm running a custom version of Tomb of Annihilation. The idea is that the Soulmonger was closed. It has been reopened, and they're trying to find out what power lies within the tomb. They all have, each of their 4 deities or their 4 higher beings has told them what this can do for their character. The ending goal, and they all know this, is it will be a one-on-one 4-person brawl at the end.
For the prize.
PvP.
But each of the gods,
they win.
Each of the deities are starting to speak to them and tell them different things that can potentially start to wreck party dynamic. And they all know this is possible.
So my question is, from there, is when it inevitably reaches the point when you've either fought the big guy or you're about to and you need to split party factions, what's the plan?
There isn't the idea is that when they arrive at the soulmonger, they'll find their source of energy, and at that point, it'll be survival of the fittest at the end.
That's gonna be chaos.
Hope
Oh
they
yeah,
got the
100%.
right class.
And they're all running. They'll all probably be about level 15. So yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're at this point still cohesive, that's impressive. That's really impressive, and it's impressive.
It's funny because they go back and forth too, because they'll at times one of them will be extremely aggressive and want to do everything, and the other ones will kind of take this back step, and then they'll switch roles throughout the game. But no, it's been a really cool experience, and it's taught me a lot about how to play a game specifically to bring out evil in characters without making it feel like I'm just slaying the guard at every city. Because I warned them, I was like, if you kill a guard at level 1 when you walk into the first town, you're going to die. Period.
Yeah.
No, thank you for all the subs. Seriously, this is awesome. Corey, I guarantee, is going to try to convince me on this. I'm asking this only in a way because it really does help our algorithm, and it helps us, and it lets my players know, especially on our stream on Sundays, to come that we are doing something that people are enjoying, because really that's the main focus of this, is to let people know what they're enjoying it, as well as for these talks is more to get people to enjoy the game in general. So
yeah.
One of the things I'd be interested in seeing is our party dynamics actually in the jungle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
I have been playing Tomb of Annihilation for almost a year now. I have jungle all over this brain of this. We're good there.
Because it's one of those things where everything and anything can kill you.
Yes.
So when you have
my level 4 party tamed a freaking T-Rex. I wanted to shoot him in the face.
I want a T-Rex. T-Rex are a part of nature. I'm attuned to nature. I should get a T-Rex.
And we need two more. I mean, I'm literally just sitting here chatting, but we need two
literally
more.
Sitting right here,
while
waiting for
we're
myself to go
chatting,
through.
I know that James did a little promotion, so because he does the I'm gonna step aside here. He does
definitely.
sessions. So yeah, I do retreats, and actually Bree has been a part of one of my retreats, and this is basically what it looks like. I set up this huge 3D thing. There's sound. There's this is like a weekend long of gaming. So
once in a lifetime experience, and on top of it, there is talk that yours truly might come out and help in some of these. So
look, I would sign
my
up
game
in a
style, you like
heartbeat.
Tori's game style. We're gonna be together rolling.
I
this
would
thing.
sign up, but if I'm going to grad school full time and I'm working full time, I ain't got any time. And I think I play in about 3, maybe 4 games a week.
Hey, Danny, what are you going to grad school for?
I'm actually getting my doctorate in nursing practice because I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So
That's cool.
Yeah, so my research project is really more focused on like therapy and medication as like the best tool for treatment, not like one or the other. It's like using both, you'll get best outcomes.
That's cool. Sorry, I don't mean to take over the stream. I was just very curious about that. That's neat.
No,
it's the funny thing. So that's really what the Tavern's built on around is, this is where people can come in, ask questions. We are only one sub off, and thank you, 12 Tone, for offering the gift subs. These are awesome. Thank you guys for supporting us. This means so much to me because I put my heart and soul into this stream week after week, and
we've been also talking about the Plots in Darkenhaven stream that I was gonna start it on my own stream, but it might be one of those collaborative projects like we've been doing here. mainly because Tabletop Misfits is doing it right, doing good stuff. And why would I start over if I can run? Let's be real. If I can just
Yeah,
jump
no, I
in
agree.
and take over a Thursday night on your schedule,
Yeah.
let's do it.
So Corey, James, I have a question. How do you
Yeah.
guys how do you know each other?
We both write for GUI Cube.
Oh, okay.
So
So
I have only so Corey and I met during through GUI Cube through Discord. We started writing and we got connected to, and he saw us launch the stream and he goes, "Hey, do you want to sit down and just bullshit about D&D?" I was like, "Heck yeah, let's do this." And that's where this show came from.
Yep.
Now, if you've been to the GUI Cube Discord, you will see my face everywhere.
Now I need to get into
I
it.
love,
I saw the
I love
video with you in
what's
it.
that?
I saw
What's
the
that?
video. I saw their video.
With me in it. Yeah, no. And it's going to get worse because I will be at Gen Con this year. I will be running games. Corey will be running games. The world is amazing. We took it as the opportunity to run our entire stream through the world. And though I love creating my own worlds and stuff like that, I've collaboratively worked with these guys and I know most of the creators. And I could not do single-handedly what has been done in GUI Cube.
yeah, it's that the
it's
community is what makes it great, and the fact that I was able to write a whole kingdom for the upcoming book of Eastern Verdestia, which is in final review right now. I've been getting calls from Alphinius like nearly every day. Hey, what about this? What about that? What about this?
he's gonna stab me because I'm so busy right now running games, and I'm also writing the one shot for them. So yeah, it's pretty busy right now.
Hey
So,
guys, we got the 5th sub.
we did get the fifth sub.
Yep.
So
We
Corey and I,
did.
it won't be next week. It's gonna be a couple weeks from now probably, but we will let you guys know when and this is gonna happen. Also, our Patreon will be launching here soon, which if you can just toss a couple bucks to support us there, it's just other ways to just continue to boost the profits for the streams and continue to add more people.
And when the Patreon launches, those of you who know Chrysalis Creative Endeavors, you also know that I do create games, card games, board games.
Amazing card and board games, by the way.
He's going to grab.
So excited. He's so excited. There was a twitch.
He was.
He's like, I'm gonna.
It is so good. It's so good.
So, as a Patreon member, you will be able to get. It's not showing up. Your background.
You have to put it on your like
I'm gonna
chest.
terminate.
There we go. So print and play versions of these games will be available to Patreon members, and we will probably also be doing drawings for games and stuff for Patreon members. So, but we still got to work through how that's gonna be, right? Because we got to make sure it's funded enough.
Hey guys,
Yep.
I know we're like kind of nearing.
We got a question.
There's a
but we have a question. Yes.
Yep. Who is your favorite character you have ever played? So we had this conversation last week. So I'm not going to say this in a because we're going to make it a little quicker. So if you've not checked out last week's stream, mine, Corey's, Jared's, and Danny's are all on that.
But we can kick it
so
to the other
Eric,
two.
What's that?
We
So
can
yeah,
kick
we're
it
just
to-
going to have the other two give their information. So Eric, what's your favorite character you've
Oh
ever
boy,
played? I
I'm
know
pretty.
who it
Yeah,
is.
you know mine.
But
But,
I don't.
So
does.
I created a bard with the College of Whispers named Weldon Bushwhack. And
Yep.
basically, I was a kid on the streets picked up by an off-brand. What was his name?
It was
The
it was
gentleman.
my tiefling.
Yeah, it was an
It
off-brand
was an
gentleman.
Yep.
And I was basically implanted into the party, and since none of the players were very like leadership based or like very outspoken, I just took over the entire party and just kind of did whatever the gentleman wanted me to do, and it was great. It was a fun time.
Yep. So that character was my tiefling. He was the underlord of the entire campaign. I was watching a lot of Blacklist at the time, so he was my Red Reddington. So he had his hand in everything.
Oh yeah.
And he would always send random messages to Weldon to, hey, while you're out in this area doing this cool quest, can you grab this herb because I need it so I can use it here and sell it on this end? And he would go out and do that extra little bidding for him.
Yep. I had an acid trip one time. It was great.
He did.
You looked at Grump.
I'm saying if 4 of us are in a jungle, someone's having an acid trip
Let's
from
see
the
here.
wrong herb. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I tried to get some herbs that I was told to get, and I failed, and I just got poofed in the face by it, and went on a trip. It was fun.
Yep. Zafon Silvertongue was his
Yep.
was the character.
Am I up?
Yep,
Yep.
you're up.
You're up.
Favorite character of all time. I was a shadow rogue, halfling. And obviously I completely just cleaned out everything. No questions asked. 11 D6s thrown. I ganked everyone, right? And of course, as a shadow rogue, because at this level, I could hop between literal shadows.
Yes.
But I got caught in a tavern situation where I couldn't get out of, and the only way out for my party was to seduce an orc. And I don't know if all you guys have to be familiar with
Halfling.
that old
Orc.
yeah. Yes, that old book that was the sex.
Like teacup, it's
the
like Teacup
sex
Yorkie
players
meets. Yeah, it's like Teacup Yorkie meets Rottweiler. You know,
Yes,
this is
but I actually
Great Dane.
I died from
Impaling?
impregnation.
Death by snoo snoo.
Oh,
I died from impregnation.
Impalement.
I got pregnant with an orc baby and died. We all rolled in the whole
Wouldn't
bit.
it have been a half orc though?
Yes, it would have been half orc, half fling.
Ling?
Half halfling?
It's an
Yeah.
Orcling.
It's an orcling.
But I
New
did save the
species.
entire party. I saved the entire party. We got all of the things. I got pregnant. It was all okay, and of course I died because
The orc.
It's an
fling.
orc fling. Because you had a fling with an
favorite
orc.
character of all time. Favorite character of all time.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for joining the tavern tonight. Thank you for coming back, Jared and Danny. As always, Corey, it's a blast hanging out with you, chatting about D&D here on the tavern. We did hit our 5 goals. Thank you for the people who gifted subs, people who signed up for us tonight. Come check us out again on Sunday, where we run our main campaign. It is a 3-hour show, though, so it is sometimes hard for people to watch all the time. But check us out on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun things. It's all connected through the About page. And as our final out, everybody, please let people know where you guys are at, because this is a community stream and we want to make sure that we're giving the love all around. So, Jared, first, where you give your speech.
You can find me and the rest of my crew at here on Twitch at Brothers in Dungeons.
Let me see. Let me get some.
I'm
start
scrolling through. Brothers in Dungeons. Brothers
I
in
am
Dungeons.
in the chat
Popping things up
as
for people.
Brothers in Dungeons if it's easier for everybody.
Can you just? Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I requested that we were friends.
That works.
There you go. Copy link. Throw a link up. All right. Next.
Danny, go ahead.
Danny.
So you can find me in Dungeon Streams. They're still in pre-production and a couple of other projects. But if you want, you can follow me on Twitter. And I like to reshare other people's stuff. So
Awesome.
if you play games, if you stream, hit me a follow. That way I follow you back, and every time I see something you're doing, I'm just gonna retweet it because you know what? That's how you build up the community. It's like resharing
Right.
everyone's stuff. So give me a follow so I can follow you back and help boost everyone up because like why not everyone get a little bit of extra like push in the algorithms?
Exactly. Bree?
I am getting back into streaming. I stream mostly gaming type games, so Dark Souls, but I do
It's
D&D
gonna
occasionally.
flag you. So what's your stream so I can pop it up there?
It is Talk Nerdy Debris. I'm just gonna
Talk.
say this is me.
Find you. There you are.
Follow. Oh no, I don't want to follow Danny Video. Though I do want to follow Danny Video. That's not a lie.
I'm adding
Everybody
everyone
should
as a
be
friend.
following Danny DeVito.
I'm adding everyone as a friend because I don't really know how
There we
Twitch
go.
works.
And then my stuff. I used to do Twitch. Now my Twitch channel is just basically hosting
Here?
Tabletop of Misfits. So, but if you want to see all the other stuff I do, ChrisLissenDevers.com. That's got all of my games, all of the the retreat stuff, and yeah. It's in the middle of rebranding right now because I want to take a new look and feel to Gen Con here in a month. So, but yeah, it's up there.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have full control too.
Yep.
So good. I don't have to. And then Eric is part of ours.
Yep, I don't do my own thing currently.
Currently.
He just makes the magic happen behind the scenes here at
I
He
tried to.
does.
But I do have a question. Speaking of Eric, have you watched The Bad Batch?
The Bad Batch. I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna punch you.
You're wearing a Star Wars shirt, and you don't know what The Bad Batch.
It's so good.
No.
I
It's
feel
pretty
like
good.
this is
Go
like
on
the
Disney.
like
Go
the
watch the
nerd
animated
version of, like when
show
someone
now.
wears a Nirvana t-shirt and they don't know what Nirvana is.
That
I've never heard of this. When did this happen?
It's beautiful. I'm just saying, it's recent. I mean, within the last like 3-4 months.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
seen
so
any
good.
hype about it, so.
Oh, it's so good.
It hasn't been hyped at all because
It's Disney and
mainstream is not about that right now, but it is hypeable.
it is also pushing
beautiful.
so hard right now. It got such good reviews that they're thinking about introducing a live version in the Mando universe.
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Oh, nice.
gonna be awesome.
It is really wonderful. Yes, it's animated, but it is.
It is
Oh,
well
yeah,
done.
I haven't been a huge
It's
fan
good
of
check.
the animated stuff.
It storyline. It
It's
went
good.
well.
Like Clone
It's
Wars,
good.
I didn't watch any Clone Wars. Wasn't a fan. I
It's
get
a
that it's a
long-
good show, but I don't like the animated stuff.
I'm not a Clone Wars fan. I'm not. I watched a little bit of it and I was like, it's okay. But
I'm
the
watching
Bad
Clone Wars
Batch,
with my 6-year-old, so he's
the Bad Batch is like,
yeah.
I
pretty
heard
good.
the hotel at Disney is going to be insanely
Oh, I've heard
expensive.
that too.
It is.
Well,
and
no,
it's pointless.
I mean, it's not totally pointless. It's a whole experience.
No, like it's in the thousands of dollars.
Yes,
for
And
the
that's when the
basic room.
Emporium floated.
this has already been researched.
where we disagree about.
This has already been researched.
The problem with the
I
whole
stabbed a bone.
experience, yeah, the problem with the whole experience though is it's supposed to all be done, and you're locked in. So if you go for the experience, you don't get to go visit Disney. You just go do the experience. Like I'm not paying a couple $1,000 just to do an experience and not get to actually experience the rest of the world.
What if you've already
Disney.
been to Disney before, though?
Look, my tip as a Floridian is value hotel. Because if
Wait,
you want to go check
pause.
out the shops or like look at the other hotels, you can go to the theme park
Sir.
and hop on the bus and go check the other hotels
Yes,
out.
you can.
Sir, pause, please.
Yes, you
You're
can.
Floridian.
He is a Floridian.
Florida
you live
man.
you live in the
Not Florida.
Orlando area.
Florida man.
I live in Miami, which is actually not a part of Florida.
I was gonna say Miami is that they
Miami is
have,
in a
like,
state of its own, as I learned from watching a video.
Yeah, you're pretty much.
But I get to claim Florida residency. But like,
Florida.
All right, we are
Ooh,
at our
Florida.
2-hour mark.
We
It is
are.
time for our last call. So thank you all for coming. It has been a absolute blast. Thank you for all the subscriptions, the follows, the views, everything. This is awesome. Please come back, check us out on Sunday, give us the same amount of support, and we'll continue to do these awesome things as we continue to grow. Let your friends know and share us everywhere, and we will continue to offer these awesome community events, which are really cool. And until then, grab your favorite drink, have a final sip, and we will see you guys on the tavern next week. I'm out.
Yep. Bye.
See you guys.
Hey guys.